The Holliston Library is the foundation of our community. Let's hear how they took the opportunity to come back after the pandemic and be better than ever. Leslie, it's so great to be back here in the library again.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has, yeah.
But we want to talk a little bit today about going back. What were the challenges that the library faced during the pandemic? Right off.
We're a business, where people physically see each other and are in close contact, so it was really tough on us. We closed in March of 2020. We reopened with curbside pickup in May and home delivery. And then we opened, in the middle of July. Mm-hmm. We were open all the way through the middle of December when the cases started going up quite a bit. And then we were closed for a little while this winter for a few months, both because of the high number of cases, but also to do some renovations. And we reopened at the end of March, and we've been open ever since. And right now we have very few restrictions at all. So people can know that they would come in and feel very comfortable. They don't have to wear a mask unless they want to. They can go wherever they used to go and do the things that they used to do. So it's really been very nice, yeah.
What were some of the specific challenges? I mean, just setting up curbside, how did that happen?
Well, we had already done curbside. What had happened was a few years ago, we had trouble with the rafters on the building, on the roof, and they needed to be replaced and supported. So when our ceiling started lowering, we were crammed into the front part of the building.
That's
so we had already actually done curbside. We had like a trial run of it.
Wow.
So when the time came, we knew how to do curbside. We knew we could do it. And at least brought services to people. People could call and we'd put a bag together, or they could order books online, and we would, have them ready for them. And curbside has not gone away. It's still there if there are people who feel uncomfortable, or even people who say, gee, I don't want to have to find a parking space. I want to pull up to that curbside door, take my package, and take off.
Wow,
they can do that.
So it worked out. Is that something you might want to keep on doing?
I would say we're probably going to keep it forever because, with our limited parking, this is really good. I mean, if you have a bunch of little kids, or maybe you're elderly, you might not want to be on a slick sidewalk or in the pouring rain. So this is just really easy. The other thing is home delivery. If somebody, was ill or had an injury or just couldn't come out in the winter, we do home delivery as well. So I think those are services that we will keep because they just worked out really nicely. Yeah.
So the reaction of the patrons to all the changes and challenges was?
It's been universally positive. Yeah. There were people who really missed us. They missed the browsing piece. They missed using the computers. Mm-hmm. They missed being able to come in and sit in a comfortable chair and read the paper. But they were so appreciative of the time that we could be open and the lengths that we went to try to get open again as soon as the cases let up. So that's been really gratifying. People are so appreciative.
And you have an excellent staff.
We do. Our staff has been so good about, keeping themselves safe, but also just, being kind of brave and smart about it, and just, putting foot forward and saying, we're going to bring our services back to the level that's appropriate within, safety guidelines. So that's been great. The staff couldn't be nicer.
Well, they are. And they're just, even through everything, they've always been welcoming with a smile on their face.
Absolutely.
And they're there for us.
Yeah, we love our patrons, and we want to give them as much service as possible. So,
So obviously, anything especially interesting that you learned through this whole exercise?
I think that we learned that some things like, programs over Zoom or curbside pickup can stay in some form or another forever.
Right.
And that there are ways that we learned that we can make the library even more convenient. We also finished a space study and a planning study just as COVID hit. So we were able to put some of those things that came out of that into reality during that time that we're closed during 2020, we weeded the collection and we did all kinds of different things that the space study consultant had come up with. So we used our time wisely, and this past March, we did a whole bunch of renovation type things at the library.
Let's hear about these.
We painted the walls and we did the carpet. Our carpet and the paint was 20 years old.
Oh.
So it was in such need. We did some repairs. We needed a lot of masonry work done. We had some
the
parts
new steps?
New steps. Our sills are the old 1904 parts of the building. The old stonework needed work to be safe and attractive. We did a whole bunch of things with that. So there was all kinds of stuff that we were able to do, and we figured we'd kill two birds with one stone at that point and get it done. I want to thank the Community Preservation Program, which is a wonderful program that I think people don't know enough about. It preserves the historic resources in town. So CPA funds were used to fix the masonry needs. So that's a great program. If you go to town meeting, you've probably heard about it, don't know a lot about it, but it's a teeny little bit of tax dollars year after year that goes into the fund. And the library is a perfect example of a good funding for CPA. So I want to shout out to them.
Oh, I love that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, CPA is a wonderful program, and it preserves so much that's unique in a small town that needs preservation. So
So we've got a whole new look at the library, new paint, new carpeting. The front steps are very nicely done. Did you make any changes in the children's room? Because the children's room gets used a lot.
It does. And I wish it was bigger down there, but when we hired the consultant, she said, you're in this building right now. Let's talk about what your priorities are and what we can do with what we have, which is always a good idea. People do that in their personal lives. And she talked to us about creating more space for people and a little less space for books. And so we expanded the play area, we bought some new toys, we bought a little kitchen, a little grocery cart with pretend groceries. We made more seating areas if you want to be in a quiet place to read to a child. We made a craft area, so if you bring your children in and they're getting a little antsy or they just like to do something artistic, they can. Gives parents a little bit of a chance to browse a little bit or relax a little bit while they're at the library.
Yep.
They also took over the meeting room, since we can't have crowds or groups right now. If you go in there, you'll see a whole table that's got book bundles on it. So if your child loves like railroads or princesses, they can find a whole bundle with a strap around it that's all princesses. And you can take them all out at one time. We did a lot of displays in there. The Friends of the Library purchased a Nintendo Switch, so kids are going to be able to come in and play nonviolent video games at the library. They can sign up for a slot to do that soon. So we're trying to make the children's room as attractive and as relaxing a place as possible for people to come in and enjoy what the library
I had no
has.
idea that this was all happening, and you accomplished it. You made such good use of all of this time.
When we were closed, myself, the young adult librarian, and the children's librarian, we were here every day.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, with each other on different floors. But we were here every day, and we thought, why sit home when we can be there safely doing these things that we don't always have time for, and that's what we did.
So what's up for the future?
Well, I think we want to get back to our full hours in the fall. Right now we're open one night a week, so the 3 other nights will come back again in the fall.
Great.
We're hoping that the meeting room will open up again. I think if the cases stay really low, we may get permission to have the meeting room back at some point. Meeting room gets used extensively by other groups. We hope to have in-person programs, a lot of hybrid programs where we may have a book club where you can attend in person or you can come on Zoom.
Perfect.
So we're hoping to get back to a lot of our old services. I'm writing a grant right now for hotspots that people can borrow so they can take Wi-Fi with them, or somebody that doesn't have Wi-Fi at home.
Oh.
We are going to put on the Rokus that you can borrow, we're going to put HBO Max. So if you want to try that service out before you purchase it, or find out if you like it, or watch just a few good movies, we're going to add that to our Rokus. So those are things that we're looking forward to for the future that we're going to have. We've got summer reading program coming for the summer. We'll have some outdoor programs over at Parks and Recreation, but we also have some indoor things. We're going to have a family game night where you can take your game and play it anywhere in the building that night.
Oh.
So we'll be able to socially distance. We're going to have a sing-along movie. All kinds of stuff that people can do that's safe but fun.
Well, it sounds like the library has come out of the pandemic even better than ever.
I think so. I think we learned a few things, and hopefully this will be the end of the pandemic, and things will get better and better and better. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Leslie, and all your staff for all you've done.
Oh, you're welcome.
For us.
Thank you for visiting us.
For Heartbeat of Holliston, this is Chryso, Lawless.